I want to start today with a number, not a bank balance, not a visa fee, a number that most men I speak to have never actually sat down and calculated for themselves. It's a number of fully active, physically capable years you have left. Not breathing years, not existing years, years when you can walk on a beach without your knees hurting. Years where you can get on a motorbike in Chiang Mai, explore a night market at midnight, hike up to a waterfall, sit on a terrace with a cold cheeky beer, and actually feel alive, not just relieved to be sitting down. Because here's the thing, most men watching this channel are somewhere between 52 and let's say 63. They've done the maths on their pension, they've looked at the cost of living in Thailand, and they've landed on the same conclusions. A few more years, just a few more years and I'll have enough. And I'm here to tell you that thinking might be the single most expensive mistake you ever make. Not expensive in baht, expensive in time. The dangerous myth I want to destroy today is this, that waiting until 65 is the safe choice, that more money equals more security, that patience is a virtue when it comes to retirement timing. The reality is, and I say this having spoken to hundreds of men who've made the move to Thailand and dozens who've waited too long, the risk isn't running out of money. The risk is running out of time while waiting for money. What no one tells you, and this is the conversation almost never happens on retirement forums, is that Thailand has a use by date for the version of you that can really live it. And that date is not 65. For most men it's closer to 60. For some it's already passed. Today I'm breaking down the biological reality of Thailand, the one more year, financial trap, and exactly how you pull the trigger earlier, before the window closes. Let's get into it. Let me paint you two pictures. Both are real men who moved to Hua Hin. The first man, I'll call him David, moved at 56. He didn't have a fortune, just a modest pension of about £1,100 a month. But within 6 months, he was cycling to the beach, riding a motorbike, and had a solid tribe of friends. 7 years later, he's one of the most rooted, genuinely happy men I know here. The second man, I'll call him Brian, waited. Always one more year. He retired at 67 with a much larger pension, more security on paper, but he arrived with a body that had been sitting behind a desk for an extra decade. The heat hit him differently. Walking the night market left him exhausted. He spent more time in the air conditioning than outside. Brian is comfortable, but he isn't living. He's just waiting out his retirement in a warm country instead of a cold one. The difference isn't money, it's biology. Thailand is physically demanding in ways Europe is not. The heat is real, often feeling like 40 degrees. That's not a problem at 54. It's a serious management issue at 67 with reduced cardiovascular capacity or mobility issues. The infrastructure isn't Europe either. Pavements are uneven, cracked or blocked by tree roots. Crossing the road requires alertness and physical confidence. None of this is extreme on its own, but it's cumulative, and it's far more manageable at 57 than at 68. The risk most people miss isn't a single health event. It's the slow narrowing of your world. The things you stop doing because they're a bit too hot or your back isn't great today. That narrowing happens to everyone, but in the tropics it starts earlier than you expect. This is why I call the 55 to 62 the golden window. In that window, you have the flexibility to engage with the environment and the social energy to build a life from scratch. You can be the active expat at the market, on the beach at 7 a.m, taking trips to Pai. By 67, without that foundation already built, the friendships, the routines, the local knowledge, you risk becoming a condo-bound expat. A man who moved to paradise, but living behind glass with a ceiling fan. Safe, yes, but fundamentally removed from the life he imagined. Build the roots early. Use your body while it still cooperates. The golden window does not wait for your pension to mature. Let me ask you a question. If you could live a genuinely comfortable, socially rich life in Thailand right now for £1,500 a month, what exactly are you working an extra 7 years for? I see men doing this all the time. They work until 65 to fund the full package. A nicer condo, a better car, business class flights. But the quiet tragedy is that the lifestyle improvements between £1,500 a month and £2,200 a month in Thailand is marginal. It's a slightly larger balcony or a fancier swimming pool. The cost of that marginal upgrade? 7 years of your golden window, 7 more winters in the UK, 7 more years of your heart and joints aching in the cold, stressful environment instead of a warm, active one. This is the financial trap of 1 more year, and it's built on a lie that you'll be just as capable of enjoying that extra money at 67 as you would be at 58. But as we age, our capacity to consume, our energy, appetite and curiosity naturally declines. You aren't saving for a better life, you're saving for a more expensive version of a smaller life. Let's talk real numbers. A single man in Hua Hin or Jomtien can live comfortably on about £1,200 to £1,500 a month. That covers a decent condo, good food, transport and a buffer. Even if you add high quality private health insurance, your real number for a great life here is likely between about £1,400 to about £1,800 a month. Most of you watching already have access to that. And here is the financial risk most people miss. Healthcare. The longer you wait, the more expensive insurance becomes. A healthy 57-year-old gets broad, affordable cover. A 67-year-old with high blood pressure or a history of surgery pays a massive premium, if they can get coverage at all. The safety of waiting is a mirage. You aren't building a bigger safety net. You're just accumulating health conditions that your safety net may refuse to cover. 1 more year, and quietly the window closes. I want to talk about something no one on retirement forums want to admit. Most men do not know who they are without their job. After 30 years in a career, your job provided everything: status, identity, and daily rhythm. The idea of that disappearing is terrifying. So you delay. You tell yourself it's about the money, but really you're scared of the purpose gap. You're asking yourself, who am I if I'm not a manager or a professional? But here's the reality. That gap doesn't close by working longer. It widens. Every extra year you spend in a career you've outgrown just reinforces an identity that isn't sustainable. If you wait until 67, the drop is vertical. You go from a full professional life to nothing overnight in a foreign country alone. The men who thrive here are the ones who moved in their late 50s and treated the transition as a creative act. They didn't arrive with a plan, they arrived with curiosity. I know an engineer who moved to Chiang Mai at 57. He spent the first year just walking, eating and learning basic Thai. By year 3, he was mentioning young Thai entrepreneurs. He found more purpose than there was in his 30-year career. But he wouldn't have had the energy to build that life if he waited until 65. The research is sobering. Men who retire abruptly without a new mission show cognitive decline within 18 months. Thailand provides that mission, the language, the culture, the daily problem solving, but only if you arrive with the energy to engage. And then there's the social catch. Building a tribe in Thailand gets harder with every passing year. Deep friendships here are forged through shared experiences, navigating the visa system together, or helping each other through health scares. That expat community becomes your family. But that family is built when you have the social energy to be vulnerable, to go out and to be the new guy. At 68, we tend to be more guarded and set in our ways. We have less tolerance for the friction of new friendships. Move while you still can build your tribe. That tribe will sustain you far more than the bank balance through the years ahead. The question I get most is, how do I actually do it before I'm ready? My answer, you are more ready than you think. Here is the bridge strategy, the framework for pulling the trigger early. Step 1. Separate enough to try from the enough to stay. You don't need the visa, the permanent house, and the 20-year budget sorted on day one. Start with a trip with intent. Go for 3 months on a tourist visa. Don't stay in a hotel, rent a condo, cook some meals, use local transport, visit a hospital for a checkup to see the real costs. If you live like a resident for 90 days, you'll return home with total clarity. That clarity is worth more than 5 years of maybe. Step 2. Choose your base for your 70-year-old self. Don't just choose a location for the man you are at 58. Choose it for the man you will be at 70. Whether it's the cultural depth of Chiang Mai, the quiet comfort of Hua Hin, or the massive community in Jomtien. Ask yourself, can I get to a world-class hospital in 10 minutes? Can I walk to a cafe or a market if I can no longer drive? Choose a location that future-proofs your independence. Step 3. Get the visa right early. If you're over 50, the path is clear. Use the retirement visa non-O. It requires either 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account or a monthly income of 65,000 baht. Don't play games with the visa rules. Pay a reputable agent to handle the paperwork properly. It's a manageable cost that buys you one thing you need most: legal stability in the country. Step 4. Sort your healthcare while you're insurable. This is the biggest argument for moving early. A healthy 57-year-old can get comprehensive cover for around £1,500 a year. By 67, with a few pre-existing conditions on the record, the price triples or the insurance company simply says no. Insure yourself while you're a good risk. Register with a local hospital the week you arrive. Knowing exactly where to go in an emergency removes the underlying anxiety that keeps most men from ever getting on the plane. I want to close with the number I started with. Not your bank balance, not your pension figure, the number of active, physical, capable years you have left. If you are 55 today and in reasonable health, you have perhaps 15-20 more years before your world begins to meaningfully shrink. Before the heat becomes a problem, before the steps are too many. If you wait until 65, that number drops to 5 or 10 years, maybe if you're lucky. That is the true cost of waiting. It's not the interest on your savings account, it's the years. I know this isn't a simple decision. You have ties, mortgages and careers. But I'm asking you to stop treating time as an unlimited resource in Thailand. Your physical capacity is the currency that matters most. The men I know here who are truly thriving, who have built real lives and real purpose, almost universally say the same thing when I ask them what they'd do differently. They don't say they'd wish they'd save more. They don't say they wish they'd worked longer. They say, I wish I'd come sooner, every single time. If you're stuck in the one more gap trap, if you know underneath the spreadsheets that you're delaying because of fear, then let's talk. This is a link below to book a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll look at the actual situation and I'll tell you honestly if you can make the move now or what it will take to get you here sooner. Because the dangerous myth isn't that Thailand is hard. Thailand is extraordinary. The dangerous myth is that waiting makes it safer. It doesn't. It just makes it shorter. Thanks for listening today, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.